So greetings. Today I'm going to speak about the 12 karmatic laws and how they affect you and how you can affect them. I'll see you after the intro. So, welcome back and greetings. My name's Jay. I'm from Karna Classics. Of course, when we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to speak about the 12 karmatic laws and how they can affect you and what they actually represent and what they actually mean. Now, these laws are taken from the actual Emerald Tablet, which is descended from Egypt and then went on to Peru. So, and I think it's Incas, if I remember correctly. One of the people who researched it, a lot of people don't know this, is actually Isaac Newton. So he's done a lot of the translations of it and into English. So let me just start with this. And before we go further, if you don't know what the Emerald Tablet is, if you have a look for a book or video called The Secret, that's where a lot of it is on. And a lot of this karmatic laws and stuff are just laws of the universe and how you can use them, and a lot of people and a lot of motivational speakers have been speaking about the karmatic laws because it helps you to really cut through the BS about how life is and how you should be living your life. So let's just get started. The first one is called the Great Law, and the Great Law is whatever you put out there you should get back. So in short, it's like if you go out there and you are a muppet or you are a bad person, you're going to get bad things happening back to you, period. If you're a good person, you get good things coming back to you as well, period. However, there's terms and conditions with this. It's not as clear cut as that. If you stay in the light and you stay happy, joyful and giving and so on and the rest of it, then this kind of like infuses it more and makes it more real and pushes it further forward and makes it happen quicker. So you can't just walk around and go, oh, I'm a good person, then something bad happens to you. That even bad things happen to good people. It's about your growth at the end of the day. Good things happen to good people, and everyone says, well, more good things happen to good people than it does to bad. Yeah, I reckon that's actual BS. And if you saw my last video, I was complaining about I swear a lot. I've been swearing a lot lately, but I've now curved it and I've gone into deep meditation and I realize where that root cause is from. And it's one of my alter egos. Not saying like I have split personalities or anything, but what it is one of my alter egos. It's another side of me which is quite abrupt, and that side of me comes out a lot when I talk. So, and that person or that being is being around a lot lately, and this is where it comes with the laws, that when you kind of call out to the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, that part of you manifests into this being, and it is raw to that sense. The next law, which is number 2, is the law of creation. Life does not happen itself. You need to make it happen. Got that damn right. And you know what? I hear this all the time. And I hear a lot of people say to me, oh, but I want to do this and I want to do that, but I don't think I've got this necessary tool. I'm not very educated with this. Well, if you ain't got the tool, then go and buy it or go and get it, what you need. If you are not educated, go and get an education. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, that's rubbish. If you've got to go down that path, you will find a way. Trust me, you will find a way. God will give you the guidance and the knowledge for you to find a way. You know, so don't be like me, who's been saying for years that I was going to go and study. And the reality is that I didn't know what I wanted to do. So now I've kind of made up my mind what I want to do, and this is where the law of creation comes in. You can call the law of creation the law of manifestation. It's the same thing, because it won't happen unless you want it to happen. Things happen, but you can make things happen as well in your strength. And things outside your strength, you can call to the Creator to help you. And we've had this conversation time and time again. And I know a lot of people who see my videos and spoken to me and who come and I've worked with have said, I don't know how to manifest. And I'm going, well, you do, because you're sitting in that chair. So you must know how to manifest. Manifestation is, if you want to go do something, you take a call to action. Therefore, you want to go and get help or see somebody or get help from me, you gotta therefore call me, right? And then I invite you down, you come down, you sit in a chair, therefore you manifested, and then you're in a chair. Manifestation, the law of creation. Simple as. That's as simple and as clear cut as it is. There's no shades of grey, there's none of this rubbish you probably hear from people. That is what it is. It's a call to action. So the next one is the law of humility. Now this says one must accept something in order to change it. So if you are working with somebody and they're a bit of a prat, that's not a swear word, then you can't change them. You can only change your view of them. You can either accept to be around them, or you can walk away and get a transfer or get a new job or whatever. Sometimes you accept the person for who they are, and then you have to part, and then you part with their stuff, and then what happens is you become bitter to a degree because they are vibrating on their level and you're not in same kind of frequency as them, so therefore you two kind of like clash, or group of people clash. So what I would always say to people is like, be true to yourself. Do not be afraid to make changes, especially if it's about your decision on your future, because no one else is going to help and boost your future for you. You need to make that thing happen. So the next law is the law of growth. When we change ourselves, therefore we will change our lives, which is true. If you're on drugs, if you're an alcoholic, if you are addicted to anything whatsoever, then and you change that aspect of you, everything else will follow suit. It's really an amazing thing that a transformation happens when you recognize. For example, I always say to people when I work with people with addiction, I always say, like, half the battle is realizing or admitting. There's two parts of that. There's admitting and there's realizing. So you can realize that you have an addiction, and there's accepting you have an addiction, because when you accept it, therefore you're ready to therefore make the transformation to move forward. Now, I worked with so many people over the years that were addicts, and it ranges, and out of that, the law of growth happens. It's a happening mechanism. It's something that just happens after you admit and accept within yourself. There's no use you saying to people, oh yeah, I'm an addict, right? It doesn't make, that's nothing in that. Part of the growth is actually doing something about it. Going out there, making these changes, going to groups, saying no to whatever people offering you, whatever your addiction is, you know, and actually saying goodbye. Now, I was addicted to really, really, really bad food. I know people think that's a joke, but it is pretty bad if you got really bad health issues. And over a period of time, I've learned to, when I'm going shopping and I'm around things like that, one of my processes was go get petrol, go pay for it, and then just take like the bars of chocolate, the food, whatever, and pay for it. It will just be automatic, and I wouldn't even need it, but it's because I always done it. So what I did, I shifted it a bit. I started doing pay at pump. That is a shift, right? So I did pay at pump, so I don't have to get into the shop. You could say I'm denying facing my fears, but no, It isn't that, because what I want to do is break the cycle. So I do pay at pump, don't need to go in to get anything. And if I need to, for example, go and get water, right, I got to get water, and I go and get water. But I preempt that, and I bought bottles of water, and I keep it with me all the time. So I always have water with me, so I don't need to go and buy anything. And you save loads of money. So it's thinking creatively how to avoid certain things to get over an addiction. I'm using addiction because that's a part of growth. You know? So if you have a behaviour and you're a pain in the rear, it's also recognising that you are a pain in the rear in order not to be a pain in the rear, right? So that's half the growth, half the ability of change. And when I came out of hospital and I was homeless, but I also had a bed and breakfast place to go to, but it's a long story. But I was there and I was like, this isn't me. This isn't what I was created to do. This isn't where I can stay and change the world, or because that's what I want to do. I'm sent to change the world, and that's what my plan is. People laugh at me, but I don't find it funny, because you know what, my view and your view and what you believe in, that's fine. If you want to go to a pub and drink yourself silly, that's your prerogative, right? If you want to come home, play game, Xbox or whatever, that's your prerogative. I can give a rat's ass. But my goal is being able to touch lives massively across the planet. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. That's so easy. You have to be famous in order to touch people, right? I suppose, no, my thing is I don't want to be famous. So I want to be known. So there's a difference. When you're known, people refer you, like Buddha is known, but he's not exactly famous. He is, but he's not a celebrity, right? So I know he's dead, but it's still not the same thing. Jesus is known, but he's not a celebrity, But people call him a superstar, but that's almost mocking him to a degree, because Jesus wasn't a superstar. Jesus was the prophet, Dalai Lama, he's known, but he's not a superstar. He's not a celebrity. People try and tarnish him. And I remember he said that. He said, "I'm not a celebrity. I'm a monk." And I loved that. I loved what he just knows how to play things down. He's original OG. I tell you, he really OG means original gangster. But I'm not saying he's a gangster. But what I'm saying is like he knows how to shift stuff. So they're saying, what is it like being a celebrity? He goes, I'm not a celebrity. And he goes, I'm a monk. And he goes, I'm a well-known monk. I'm not a celebrity. And I love that line. It's true, because it is just how people want to put him into a pigeonhole, and or these people into pigeonhole, and he's just saying, no, I'm not. This is how I am. You are what you believe you are, and I believe I am a form of a prophet, but we all come in. A prophet means coming with a message, and I believe everybody from I've said Les Dennis then, Les Brown to Anthony Robbins to all these people, great speakers, that all I believe are prophets to come and spread a message, and is to help impact humanity. That's where the law of growth comes from, is you realizing what your worth is and then growing through that. Don't go through it, grow through it. That's why I keep going back to Karnak, and I keep saying we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So that's what's so important about the law of growth. So the next one is the laws of responsibility. We must take responsibility for our own lives. Yes, we are accountable for the stuff that we do. We are accountable for every action, every word, everything that has been done. There is an element of forgiving yourself because circumstances, but be mindful that what you do impacts others. Be mindful what you do will impact you yourself, and be mindful that what you do will have a bad taste in your mouth for a long time if it's wrong, in your eyes or in other people's eyes, depends what your point of view. So if you're spreading bad rumors about somebody and you have no evidence, or you need to look at why you're seeking stuff and your responsibility to hurt people. You need to really analyze your own self. And I had a client the other day who said to me that I know one day karma's going to fall back on this person. I want him to feel it. And I'm saying, say if karma doesn't get this person, what are you going to do about it? Then I have to take matters into my own hands. I goes like, well, why? I mean, but they hurt me. Okay, I get that, but are you hurting now? No, I'm not. So you're hurting now though, but you are, because you're hurting now because you want to get vengeance on this person. You know, this is why I say leave it in God's timing. God will be your vindicator. Can't believe I actually got that right for once. God will be your vindicator. So if you're spending your life focusing upon going after this person or going after whoever or getting your payback, let it go with love. Just let it go with love. Leave it to them. The amount of times, right? The amount of times that people have tried to blame me for shit. Sorry, blame me for stuff. And see, I told you my it's coming out, didn't I? Has tried to pin things on me, right? And I've not done anything. And it's their own stuff that they got issues with, you know? And they constantly spending their time trying to hurt me personally, when all I've done in my life is try to be the best version of me and help that person. Even now, when I'm now struggling, being off work for over a month now, and going back on a phased return, I have to take the responsibility, because the way I am is impacting other people. The way I am is stopping people who I help, who have mental health, not get employment, so I'm slowing down their lives because of how I'm letting one person make me feel. Do you understand? So when you're holding such, you could say grudge, or you're sitting in that pit, let it go. Just let it go. You know, and I spent so much time letting it go, because if you don't let it go, it will consume you. I've seen it. I've seen someone get consumed by hate, and it's not a pretty picture, trust me. It's about just let them go, just let it go, just let them go. Some of the power is not giving a damn, is not giving a BS. The power there is like, you know what, they've done you wrong, they don't want you, they don't like you, they won't let you into their friend group, they won't let you do this. Fine, you know, let it go. And then go about your business and go and develop your own thing. Go and do your own thing. Because let me tell you something, and this is God's honest truth, or I want to say my honest truth as well, that when you let it go, there's this majesty that appears. And I have to quote Psalm 23. God will prepare a table before He will prepare a table in the presence of your enemies. You know, and nobody who are your enemies will be able to sit at that table. So He will honor you as long as you stay true to you. That's all you can do, and keep shining. So number 6 is the law of connection. So the past, the present, and the future are all connected. So I want to even talk about past lives here. So past lives are connected to this life and to the next. I want to talk about you being younger, school days, nursery, you know, when you go into adulthood, or when you turn into a teenager and when you get old, as you grow older. You can see this with, I've seen this with a lot of people who I work with. I've been working with someone who has been a victim of crime, but it wasn't their fault. I know that sounds really strange to say. They grew up in a really bad family. I mean, really, really, really bad family. And they were a systematic, evidence-based situation of that time, and within that time, the only way they could walk is to fall into the wrong crowd. I know this sounds really weird, and you hear me a lot say there ain't such a thing, you can walk away from whatever, but at that time there was no other way out. There was no support groups out there. There was no guidance. They had nobody around them. The only people they had around them was people that were doing drugs or alcohol, whatever. Yeah, so they fell into crime, and because of that, now going into their into their 20s now, it's impacted them because the past is going to come forward. They're going to have a criminal record, but you know, it doesn't matter. There's also something that's called forgiveness, you know, but you need to forgive yourself first of all. And I'm not saying you should go, if you're a teenager, you should go out there and do crime and then forget and then forgive yourself later. What I'm saying to you is, if you have a way out, there is so many ways out now, and if there's so many ways out, there is connections you can get out there that can help you, and you don't need to fall into these gangs, crimes, and do all this stuff, and robberies and rape and all this stuff. You don't need to do that, you know, because you and it goes back to responsibility. You are responsible for your actions, so don't turn. And this person said to me, you know what, I know I'm responsible for my own actions, and that's the only way I can move forward. If I keep blaming my past, I will not move forward. And I goes, I know you won't, but because you are doing that, you're taking the next step, and you're admitting. So when someone says, oh, X, Y, and Z, you've done this, that, and the other, you can turn around and go, yeah, I know I've done that, but you can't hold that against me, because I'm at peace with that. You know, I'm at peace with that. Once you're at peace with it, no one can hold that against you. You know, once you move forward, and I said you're at peace with it, they can say what the hell they want, because eventually they will look like the utter muppet. They would look like the utter fool. Because, and I remember one time when I was working, and I made a mistake. We all do, right? We're all working. I made a mistake. Got hauled into my boss's office. And I went in my team leader, and she was going mental. It was almost like I shot the queen or something. She was throwing her a fit. She was going mental. And she goes, well, you got, after she spoke for about 10, 20 minutes, or however long it was, I kind of zoned out after a while. She said to me, what you got to say, but you ain't said a word. And I said, well, I ain't got a word in edgeways. She had it out for me anyway. And I said, I hadn't had the chance of a word in edgeways. So she said, well, what you got to say? And I goes, I thought I could try and talk my way out of it. And I thought, no. Yeah, obviously I screwed up and I'm sorry. And then she looked at me and she was like, what do you mean you're sorry? Well, I'm sorry. I goes, well, it's there on documentation that I've obviously done the wrong action and it's caused this effect, but I'm sorry about it, you know, and it won't happen again. I learned from my mistakes. That's not good enough. She went off into one again, and then my team leader butted in and said, look, at the end of the day, he says he's sorry. There is no reason for you to carry on. This is not far from, this is almost bullying. That's not acceptable. I don't take that from anybody, and I deal with employment. I don't take that from any boss who treats anybody like that. And if you are like that, you need to check yourself. So at the end of the day, my team leader butted in and said, look, but, you know, Jay, go back to work, and you know what, we talk later. And he rinsed her. He just went mental at her. And he goes, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to sort it, because this would end in a tribunal. So if you're like that and you've got a problem with a member of staff, you need to check yourself. If they're doing wrong, you need to check them and work out why they're doing wrong. There's always a reason. And if you're being victimized by a boss, you need to turn around and talk to somebody. Don't hold it within you. Connection. Find a connection. Don't hide it and go and hide away from this situation, because this really infuriates me, because people move into positions to become bullies, and I don't accept that. I don't care who the hell you are. No one has no right to treat you like that because of your partner, your friend, your best friend, your dad, your mum, or whoever. No one's got a way to treat you inhumanly. They're meant to treat you with respect if they want respect back. So that's what I want to say about connections. I'm going to move on. So that was really important to me because it's a pattern that's happened throughout my life, but I don't accept it now, because if I make a mistake, I try to rectify it, because we all make mistakes. I'm just proud I've got an amazing employer at the moment. So the next one is the law of focus, and it says we cannot think of two things at the same time. Let me re-say that again. The law of focus states you cannot think of two things at the same time. Try it. Try and think of a fridge and a washing machine simultaneously. You can't. It's impossible. So focus upon one action. When you focus upon that action, you give that action your total energy, and by the law of attraction, that energy will boost the law of focus. Once that law of focus is done, law of attraction will come in and make sure that it's manifested and brought forward. And that's how you do it. So when you focus upon the one thing, it will manifest. It will manifest for you. So the next one is the law of giving and hospitality. So this is our behavior should match our thoughts and our actions. So true. There's a simple line for this. Treat people as you want to be treated. You heard me go on my soapbox about the law of connection and how you should be treating people. That's exactly what this is talking about. Because if you treat people badly somewhere, I can guarantee you, by the law of attraction, you will, when later on down the line, you know, because it's all connected, you will be mistreated later on down the line, either in your professional life or your personal life. So try and treat people with respect. And on top of that, I don't know, you know what, there's a saying that I'm trying to remember who it was, but I'll try and sum it up. Basically, it was that people would rather die to help someone they love, i.e. they respect, like Dr. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, than die for someone they're afraid of, like a dictator. So people, and this is where it's come back to back in the old days, where there used to be revolutions and stuff where they believed in what their cause are. Don't get it much these days, but they died because they believed in it, you know. And I'm not saying to cause revolution, you know, so don't thingy. What I'm saying is, like Dr. King, for example, let me use him because he's one of my go-to people. he laid his life down for what he believed in, and he didn't expect to go and do what he was doing and then expect to be killed for it, you know, because he was trying to promote peace. But unfortunately, the people that opposed him didn't see the same view. They see them as a threat. It's like seeing a flower as a threat, really. Can't really see that. They need to check themselves, I suppose. So best way to do was to kill him, you know, remove him. So people, you know, put their lives on the line and just went out there and caused riots. Some people didn't. Some people just went out there to cause trouble. But most people were angry because they know that this man was innocent. He was a prophet at the end of the day. You know, he was a prophet, and all he done was try and unite people, and he was murdered, assassinated. You know, and unfortunately, that's how some people work. And I love the line he says, "I fear no man, for my eye has seen the Lord." And I thought that's so powerful, so powerful. And this is where you heard me in one of my other videos saying, "I fear no man now." I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of anyone, because you can kill me, yeah, you can murder me or whatever, and you can put my heart through a blender, you can treat me bad, but I know that my heart is with God, and I know that God created you, whoever wants to cause harm to anybody or to me, and I know that God, if God is before me, who dare be against me? So he will go after that person, because I know in myself that if I'm a child of God, I'm trying to live my life in his image. And this is where I said, giving of hospitality. So you give and you help, and the more you give and you help, the more it will come back to you by the law of attraction. And if you carry on with this stupidness and you want to just think that you can go around bullying people, as I said about connection, you will be bullied yourself. It's by the law of attraction. So the next one is, which is number 9, is the law of here and now. So we cannot be present if we are looking backwards, which is true. I'm trying to remember the one from Kung Fu Panda, when it says the past is the past, the present is the past is the past, the future is the future, the present is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Something like that. I'm sure you would all remind me. But it's true. The present is the present. And I think so many people are focused upon the future, they forget about today. You can't get to the future. The future is a bridge. So you've got a bridge, right? And the past is the land you just walked off. You're walking across this bridge, which is called the present, to get to the future land. And this is why it's said in the Bible, where it says, I'm crossing the bridges in order to get to the Holy Land. So he's doing a journey. And as we're walking across our bridge, which is the present, we need to turn around and really encapsulate and really love and see and marvel in the beauty of this present moment, because it won't be there for long. And this is a part of your transition in your change. And a part of, someone said to me, what was the greatest thing about you finding your home? I go, was the journey finding it and then receiving the letter that I've got it. What was the greatest journey about the greatest thing about getting your car? Was looking for the car and then finally finding it and going, oh my gosh, this is what I want. You know, so that journey is the present. Stay in the present, and if you stay in the present, life gets a lot more easier. And if you just calm down, stay in the present, and the law of here and now, you will see things coming to you a lot quicker. It's like this trying to catch fly flies. You can't catch fly flies in a net if you're doing it really quickly. You'll have to just go at their speed and then catch them in a jar or in an actual net. So just slow down, don't stop, but slow down and just admire what's around you, but still think about the future, but just be mindful of the present. So the next one is a really good one, which is number 10. It says the law of change. History will keep repeating itself unless you learn from it and change the path. So yeah, that's all we really need to say, really. It is what it is. It's like if you're constantly I remember saying working with this client, and she was trying to find, she wondered why she keeps dating all the men. So I said to her, okay, well, what kind of guys are you dating for? So she said what they were. So I said, okay, tell me about the kind of describe the man that you would want to be with. She described the same person that she wanted to be with. I said, well, that's why you keep getting them. I said, tell me about the people you're with. Describe the person you want to be with. She wasn't in the present. She wasn't learning from the past. So when she got and understood that, it wasn't about humiliation. That's not what it was. It's about changing your conscious thinking and seeing how people are. And that's how you can change and manipulate the future. I say manipulate, sounds like a bad word, but that's not what I'm saying. You can change your future, so that's another form of manipulation, to where you don't want it to be, because your path is already going a certain way. So if you manipulate where you are at the moment, in the present, then it will shift. And when you're aware of what you've done in the past, then you can see that things can shift and not be repeated from the stuff you did in the past. So that is another key thing about growing and learning to grow through change. This one I'm working on as well for myself. I'm going to read it because it's really important. It says, the law of patience and reward. The most valuable reward you require is persistence. Should I read that again? It is really good. 11. The law of patience and reward. The most valuable reward you require is persistence. And you hear me talk about that all the time. Don't give up, keep going, keep striving. You know, a boxer, if they want to get into a fight, not literally get into a fight, if they want to go and train for a fight, they don't just go and have McDonald's every day, they don't go KFC, they don't go to all these places. They tone down, they work out, they work on it, they're persistent at their workout, and because they know they have to get to a certain weight and a certain stature and have a certain power within themselves, because they need to be stronger than the other person. And not just that, they have to also go through a state of mental building, because Colin McGregor, he does it a lot, he uses law of attraction a lot, and he keeps going, the reason I fail in a fight is because I'm not in the right state of mind. And when I'm in the right state of mind, as you said, if he's not in the right state of mind, then he would always fail. And he constantly, as he's training, is constantly trying to keep his mind in a winning mindset. And I kind of do that as well. I know if I'm not in a good mindset, I won't work with people. I won't do readings. I won't do coaching. I won't do mentoring. I would just say, look, I can't work with you because I'm not giving you the best of me, and you just be getting some of my stuff that comes out. There's me reflecting upon my stuff when I'm in a good mindset, than me being with somebody and then me complaining about myself at that time. So that's a really powerful thing. So be prepared and be mindful of those things as well. So the last one, 12, is the law of significance and inspiration. This is really good. It says the rewards of the results of energy and effort will be what you put into it. So your significance and your inspiration is what you put into it, how much you put your focus on the inspiration and what inspires you. Like for me, as I mentioned, Dr. King, he inspired me. I love it. He's an amazing speaker. Not just the words he says, it's the tone he uses, the way he pronounces it, the way he moves his face, the way he's so confident in what he's saying. And there was one where he gave a speech, I think one of the last speeches he did, I had to stop it because we've got some damn ice cream band outside constantly playing that tune, and it always seems to be around the same time I'm recording. Anyway, Dr. King, one of the last speeches he gave, or one of the speeches towards the end of his life he gave, was the way he spoke. And he goes, when he said, I know I may not get there with you, but I've seen the promised land. And the way he moves his head is like, I know what you're up to. And I know. He knew, he wasn't stupid. He knew exactly why, but he also knew what's going to happen after, once he dies, and that there's going to be people are going to honor him, and he's always good. The worst thing you can do to somebody is turn against them, because you immortalize them. You make them into some kind of greatness, even though they're not. And this is what happened with so many people from the past, even people that done wrong, that once they've gone and their legacy isn't there anymore, or they're not there, then people look at them. And that's why if you do good and then you pass over, they will only remember you for the good you've done. This is the 12 karmatic laws. The first one was the Great Law. Second one was the law of creation. The third one was the law of humility. The fourth law was the law of growth. The fifth law was the law of responsibility. The sixth law was the law of connection. The seventh law was the law of focus. The eighth law was the law of giving and hospitality. The ninth law was the law of here and now. The 10th law was the law of change. And the 11th law was the law of patience and reward. And the 12th law, which is the last one, is the law of significance and inspiration. So I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to close my book, and I'm going to see you in the next video. And thank you so much. Before I go, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and please share as always. And look after yourself and others, and especially you. Namaste and God bless.